The Hermit's Path. Every life follows a path. Most people move through their days without thinking much about the small habits that guide them, the words they speak, the choices they repeat, the routines that quietly shape who they become. The Hermit's Path is a place to slow down and look at those small things. In this series, we explore simple ideas and practical steps that can help bring a little more awareness and intention into everyday life. Nothing complicated, just thoughtful ways to live a little more deliberately, one small step at a time. My half-mile walk. I have traveled across this country. I have stood before Mount Rushmore. I have looked out over the Grand Canyon. I have walked through pioneer homes and touched things tied to real history. I was impressed. Anyone with sense would be. But when I left it there. I didn't take it home with me. I hear people say things like, places like this help you reconnect with yourself. I've heard it in documentaries, travel videos, and those ghost town explorations somewhere in the woods. The camera pans across empty buildings, and before long, the narrator starts talking about rediscovering who they are. I listen to that, and it honestly makes no sense to me. How do you reconnect with something in a place you've never even been before? If anything, it sometimes sounds like people trying to justify their lives instead of examining them. I've seen incredible things in this country, but the moment that actually feels like reconnecting has nothing to do with monuments or landmarks. It happens about a half mile from my place. When I come back from the outside world, the vehicle stays where it belongs. From there, the rest of the way home is on foot. Sometimes I'm leaning on my walking stick. Other times, I'm pulling a wagon loaded with supplies from town or coming back from a medical appointment. That half mile is a small journey between two worlds. Behind me is the paved world, errands, appointments, noise, and the steady hum of other people's lives. Ahead of me is quiet. The trees begin to close in. The road grows more familiar. My pace settles into something natural again. By the time I reach the gate, the outside world already feels like it's drifting farther away. The gate itself isn't much to look at. The fence is made from old pallets, faded and weather-worn from years of sun and rain. The gate hangs a little too low, so if you just pull it open, it will drag the ground. So I do what I always do. I untie the ragged rope holding it closed. I lift the gate slightly so it clears the dirt. Then I swing it open. That moment, my hand on that rough, familiar wood is the closest thing I know to reconnecting. Not with some abstract idea of myself, with my life. Most people go searching for quiet places, hoping they will trigger something inside them. They visit mountains, ghost towns, and historic landmarks, looking for a moment that feels meaningful. But meaning like that can't really be borrowed from a place. It grows out of the life you actually live. When I lift that gate, I'm not stepping into a tourist site or a scenic overlook. I'm stepping back into the world I built, the routines, the quiet, the land, the simple rhythm of living a life that fits. The outside world can be impressive, but it isn't mine. That faded pallet gate is. And every time I lift it and walk through, that half-mile road behind me fades away and I cross back into something real. That's my reconnecting. Not at the Grand Canyon, not at Mount Rushmore, not in a ghost town somewhere deep in the forest. It happens on a half-mile walk, a walking stick or a wagon of supplies, and a weather-worn gate waiting at the end of the road. Walking the Hermit's Path doesn't require dramatic change. Most of the time, it begins with something small, a new habit, a different way of thinking, or a simple choice made with a little more awareness. If something in this episode resonated with you, consider giving the video a like and sharing it with someone who might also appreciate the idea. And if you'd like to continue exploring simple ways to live more intentionally, be sure to subscribe and join me again along the Hermit's Path.